level of engagement and the reason why kids come to school has turned. So my first year here, we didn't have Microsociety. The kids wanted it, they've heard about it, and each year that we've implemented it and grew it a little bit more, you can see the levels of engagement in terms of our numbers for attendance, the numbers of referrals went down. That was the highlight of the day. So usually at the end of the day, it used to be our more rockier time. And now it is like our stress-free time of the day right before release, because that's when we do micro.
I think middle schoolers I think it's a really important time in their life. They're finding themselves and they're really discovering what they're good at, what they care about, and where they fit in. And Microsociety really helps with that.
We're making pencil hoarders out of milk carton boxes from the school.
There has been a lot of personality changes due to micro. They get a chance to actually be in a leadership position, which I think is great because they become a much better scholar and they become a much better citizen because now they realize that there are effects to what I say and what I do. And I have to think about this now on a different level.
As mayor of Monrovia, I am a role model, a leader, someone that the scholars can look up to when they need help. During micro time, I make business decisions and I help the ventures out with whatever they need. I like new ventures, what other people think of entrepreneurship, and how every year we don't just see the same ventures over and over. All the food businesses don't sell the same food. Clothing lines, we have jewelry and DIYs and things like that. So I believe that modern society is coming into our school and we're making it our own.
Microsociety does a tremendous job of preparing students for real-world issues. We might have an issue in the hallway where a peacekeeper, writes a ticket for somebody running in the hallway. So that there becomes an issue. Do you pay the ticket? Do you hire a lawyer to fight the ticket? How do you go about these things within this micro setting, but then it also translating that to the real world, I think is something that's really, really tremendous.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
At Monroe, we have our own justice system. The scholars who want to be part of the court system actually have to go through law school and give a bar exam, make sure they know everything that's supposed to happen. The citizens all know what the laws are and that they know if they break the law that they're going to have to go through the justice system. Our court system works a lot like the United States court system so that our kids learn about the United States court system. We talk about the Miranda rights, we talk about Bill of Rights and how that applies to what we do. We make sure that we run our court system consistently and fairly, and I think justice is usually served pretty well in Monroe.
We, the jury, have found Brady Lytle guilty. Brady Lytle, we have hereby found you guilty of the crime that you have committed. The court is adjourned.
At this school, it's really the basis of the school. A lot of parents want their kids to go here because of micro. Kids want to go because of micro. They think, oh, that'll be fun, and it is, but when they get here, it's like a real life experience. How do we write these checks? How much tax do we owe? We've got to fill out this form to give it to IRS. They're using a lot of skills they learned in their core classes. You're not really doing it so much for a grade. You're doing it to be successful.
Our students have to, for the bank that we run, we actually stripped out an accounting program and built it to facilitate the activities of a bank. The students then run that program. I think the students, in the long and in the short of it, actually get experiences that when they walk into writing a resume or trying to set up a real resume, oh, I've been there. When they go into the bank for the first time and set up an account, hey, I've been there. I've done that.
Okay, all right, Marlon proudly wants to show he's only 26 emeralds off out of a till of what, Alvin?
14,501. We're only under 26. That's pretty good.
When students all of a sudden begin to learn their gifts, begin to learn their talents, begin to visualize what they can possibly be, what it is that they understand all of a sudden, then school becomes something that is very important and not just something that I have to go to. And so, yes, I know for sure that it is linked to their attendance, to academics as far as having a sense of purpose and a sense of understanding yourself in a way that, most middle school students are searching for. They find it here.
The 293 from the 45 to where that gives how many shares, the total amount of money.
I think micro has been very useful for me as a student, especially in academics. Just there's a lot of math involved, and you learn about history, social studies, how the economy of the U.S. can simulate Emerald City, and it gives us a general experience here that we can relate to the real world. So before, I was actually pretty interested in the stock market, although I didn't know that much about it. I knew what it was, I knew that there were public companies, but now I know more in depth about how many, there's stocks, mutual funds, ETFs, and not just stocks. And then I learned about valuation methods and what the balance sheet is, what the income statement is, how to use it, and then terminology within the stock market.
How often do you evaluate these? Monthly.
Monthly? Yeah. We view a video from Harvard Wealth Distribution video that they created, which shows that less than 10% of Americans actually invest in the market. And so with the demographic of this school being so diverse, it was very important for us to open up an outlet for a lot of kids that may not be having these conversations at home, and to show them that it doesn't have to be less than 10% of Americans. It can be all of us if we're given the proper vocabulary and the ways of using the tools.
And from every single business come down to stocks and bonds, and we need to have a week of education.
A training session.
Yeah.
Over the last 19 years, I've had more positive experiences with Microsociety in a middle school than any other program that we've had at all. And I've been in a number of different schools in different settings. When we talk about providing programs for kids that are really going to be meaningful, Microsociety is it.
We are in the 21st century. Learning has to look different. Our outcomes should be different, and Microsociety is that real world connection that our kids need. You have a lot of freedom, but yet still enough structure for kids to grow and for you to get those outcomes and for kids to become better citizens, which is the goal of school. Not just the numbers, but become better people. So it is the new 21st century education model.